This is the plaintiff, Joanne Caudill. She says she hired the defendant to clean her mother's house after she passed away. And the woman did a half-baked job. The walls were filthy, the rugs weren't clean, and she paid her for 3 days' work and didn't get what she paid for. So she's suing for the return of the $1,500 she paid. This is the defendant, Annie Lee Albright. She says the plaintiff's mother lived like a hermit. She smoked like a chimney, and the walls were caked in yellow, disgusting smoke. And she made it clear there was only so much she could do to clean them. Bottom line, they did a walkthrough together after the 3 days of cleaning, and the plaintiff paid her in full, and she's not returning a penny. She's accused of not cleaning up.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Williams now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Caudill, what happened?
I hired the defendant to clean my mother's house.
How did you hear about the defendant's company?
Online.
All right, what was the name of the company?
Partners in Grime.
Partners in Grime. Very catchy. All right, and what happens?
So I called her and I asked her if she had a team of people that could clean a house that had very bad nicotine stains and was very, very dirty, that it was a very hard job to do, and asked her if she had a team. She told me that she did. I met her over at my mother's house.
Your mother had passed away?
Yes.
Sorry to hear that.
My mother had passed away.
What condition was the house in?
Horrible condition. My mother was a hermit for the last 2 years. She did not go outside, and nor would she let anyone in due to COVID. She was terrified. She was 88 years old.
Oh, jeez.
And consequently, she was a heavy, heavy smoker. Consequently, her house became coated in nicotine. And so
she wouldn't even step out of the house to smoke the cigarettes?
Oh, no. Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
She would not let anybody in. When I called her, she'd say, I'm fine. I have everything I need. Everything's just fine.
Who was doing the groceries for her?
My sister-in-law would go and get her groceries and bring them back for her and leave them on the back steps, and my mother would put them away.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway,
Wow, that had to be hard for you. I'm sorry that you had to go through that because...
it was very hard.
Yeah.
Very.
All right, so you hired the defendant to do a top-to-bottom cleaning of a place that needed it very badly. And how much did you agree to pay the defendant?
Well, at first, she did a walkthrough, and she looked at everything and told me that it would be $1,200. And to be honest with you, I said at that time, wow, I expected it to be a lot more than that.
Why are you saying that? Why does that come out of your mouth?
I don't know.
So you say that to her, and then she raises the price?
Next day, yes. The next day when I met her over here, I was honest with her. I told her that I had found a bed bug in one of the books. And she immediately said, well, in that case, I'm going to have to charge you an extra $200.
Okay.
Which I agreed to because, you know, it's risky.
Hazard pay.
So anyway, I gave her a key to the house. Honestly, I was expecting a team of people to come in because it was a huge job. And she knew that from the beginning.
Yeah. All right. So she does the job or she does a job, and that job takes how many days?
2.5 days, I believe. I can't quite remember. My daughter was in the hospital at the same time. She was in a catatonic state. Went in that way when my mother died. Yeah. And so I was frazzled.
How's your daughter?
My daughter is great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't end for you.
God, yeah.
Right. So I understand you were frazzled, but she takes 2.5 days, and then what do you do? I come over to my mom's house and to inspect and to pay her the rest of the money because I had already paid her half of it up front. And when I got here, it's kind of dark. Why was it dark? Are you saying it was nighttime?
It was getting to be nighttime. It was
okay, but there's lights. I presume there's electricity in the place because how else could she clean?
Right.
Okay.
There was electricity, but honestly, I couldn't see the details at the time. And like I said, I was leaving to go back home the next day.
Did you pay her?
I did.
Did you have any complaints at that time?
I did. There was a door that wasn't clean that I asked her other person to wipe off.
Okay. Anything else?
Not at the time. I didn't notice anything else.
Okay. And then, in fact, you gave her a tip, right?
Yeah.
$100.
Yep.
When did you become unhappy?
So a pipe burst in the basement when I was back home, and it was flooded.
Oh.
So immediately called the insurance company.
Right. Okay.
Right. So I called the insurance company, and they sent a restoration company over. So they started inspecting everything. My son was with them. He had a flashlight, and he started noticing things with the flashlight and saw that things just were not clean.
Wait a second. You had thought they were clean. So what did he see that made him think they weren't clean?
Okay, so there was a rug that had been moved from the front door to the middle of the floor. And she took a picture to show me how nice it looked, which it did. But my son had moved that rug, and underneath it, the shampooer had not even touched the carpet. There was crusty dog poop underneath the dining table that Mom's dog died a year before. So that had not been touched. He started looking at the walls and the ceilings and saw dripping areas, or not dripping areas, but just really dirty areas.
You're talking about the nicotine now, right? You're talking about the nicotine.
Yes, I am.
But nicotine is very hard to get out, right? And she told you that before the job. She told you, I can't guarantee that's going to come out.
Yes.
Right. The walls, I don't know that you can pin those on her. Let me talk to Ms. Albright. Ms. Albright, you get hired to do this job, and how is it, like, how do you decide what you're going to quote for a place? I guess you look at it and what?
Yes, we always do a walkthrough before, and our procedure is do a walkthrough afterwards, and I do not get paid until they're happy with their service.
Okay. And tell me the condition of this particular place.
It was one of the worst places that I have done. I've been in service for over 2 years. The tobacco, it was just terrible. I told her that these walls, we will get cleaned as much as possible, but the thing is that she's going to do is have to go through the procedure of painting, removing the odors, and stuff like that. It took 3 days. While we were there, the bed bug guy came in. He showed me and my husband, that is the person that was helping me, because we had to move furniture.
Tell me about the stuff that you did while you were there.
Okay, so we cleaned walls. We moved everything into a bedroom so we could start in one, because it was such a big project. We wanted to start in one area together and then move to a next area together. So we moved everything, and being an older lady, they seem to like heavy wood, like back in the day, not like how they make things now. It was very heavy.
Okay.
And we shampooed carpet. We dusted everything. What else did we do?
Did you have to? You said something about junking stuff. What did you junk?
Yes, there was lots of garbage, things broken. Her mother, she went on with the story that she was super sick. She didn't leave the house for 2 years. Well, she told me the gentleman that was living there for 2 years with her, and he was a straight meth head. And he's very well known around this town for being a bad gentleman. Since I talked to the bed bug guy, he showed us pictures.
Oh, but you knew before you took the job that there were bed bugs, right? Like that wasn't a surprise to you.
She said that she found a dead one. And when they came in, they said this house was very infested. And we told her we found multiple bed bugs. And they said that It was not going to be easy cleanup.
Okay. So let's look at the pictures that you sent. What is this a picture of that I have?
That's the wall.
Okay.
That's the wall that is half clean on the right side and not cleaned on the left side. I cleaned it on the right.
Okay. Well, she kind of has you here, Ms. Albright, in terms of that it could be cleaner, right?
That looks painted.
You think that's painted?
Yes, it is.
No, ma'am.
And we also...
I don't think that looks painted. This is also another picture. And what am I to see here that you sent me?
This shows you on the right-hand side where it was not cleaned, on the left-hand side where I cleaned it to show that it had not been cleaned.
And what's your response to that, Ms. Albright?
I don't have a response.
Okay.
I mean...
What is this a picture of, Ms. Albright?
Okay, that is before and after.
Here's a picture of the back of the microwave. Because one of the things that was said was pull out the appliances, clean everything, and put them back. Here's a picture when she's done cleaning the microwave. So it doesn't look like anybody cleaned the back of the microwave and pulled it out or anything, does it, Ms. Albright?
Not with the microwave, no, it doesn't.
Right. So how long after you've done the job does she call you and tell you, hey, I changed my mind, I'm unhappy?
It was 4 or 5 days later, or 6 days later.
All right. And she calls you and she says, on second thought, I feel like you could have done a better job and I didn't get my money's worth. And what do you tell her?
So I dealt with this almost a month. And I finally told her, she told me to woman up and do something. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this. My policy is 48 hours with complaint. I will come back free and fix it on your time. She told me she didn't want me back in the home. She did more threats.
Okay, I have a question for you. When you say my policy is you have 48 hours, I know it has no bearing in this case because according to you, you were willing to go back. But when you say your policy is, where's your policy? I went on your website. I don't see it on your website.
I tell everybody that.
Yeah, don't do that. Make them sign something that says that. Protect yourself.
We do that now.
Yep.
This is the first time
Nothing like a lawsuit to educate America. Ms. Caudell, did she in fact offer to come back and clean whatever it is that you had complaints about?
She did. When I contacted her to let her know.
And why didn't you let her do that?
Because the restoration people were here doing work and I was out of state.
Yes, I know, but I'm asking you, if you asked her to woman up and do something about it, and she said, okay, I will, I'll go back there. Why do you say, no, you can't do that when you just asked her to woman up and do something about it?
When I said to woman up and do something about it, it was already after I had told her I didn't want her back. And the reason I didn't want her back is because she was very unprofessional with me and ignored my text to her and then wouldn't say anything of what she would do to remedy the situation.
Okay, but then at some point, she does say, I'll go back and I'll re-clean. Why don't you let her in then? She was just too rude?
Never said that.
Oh, wait, you said she said that she offered to go back and you didn't want her back.
She offered to come back when the restoration people were here, and I told her no. When I came back from Oregon and found this place a mess the way it is, I did not want her back in here.
All right, so you didn't let her go back in there to rectify anything that you want, and you now want the entire $1,500 repaid back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
As though no work had happened there. Because no work happened there, so you should get every penny back.
No, I'm not saying no work happened.
Well, that's exactly what you're saying when you're suing for 100% of your money back. You're saying there's no value to anything you did there, so I should get all of my money back.
I guess that is what I'm saying, and I guess I never thought of it like that.
Right.
She did do some work here, her and her partner.
Right. When you say she ignored you, I see your first complaint, and it's dated January 13th. Where you go into everything that's making you unhappy. That is how long after the work was done, Ms. Albright?
Yes, we got done on the 3rd.
Okay, so we're talking about 10 days later. And then I see her immediately answering you. Can I get back in before you're back or no? Where does she ignore you?
Further on down.
No, because the restoration company's there doing the work. Then she says the reasonable thing when they're done. I'll check and see when they're finished. Okay. Then on the 29th, I have to say I'm thoroughly disappointed in the work you did not do here. Blah, blah, blah. At this point, I don't want you to come back. When did she ignore you that caused you to say you don't want her to come back? I mean, you've come to court. Let's see what we have here. You hire somebody. You're super happy with the price. You come to inspect. The point of it is an inspection. You inspect, and then you fork over $800. Not the $700 that you owe, but I am so happy, here's a $100 tip. All right? Then off into the sunset, and 10 days later, either your son complains or someone complains, and you decide, oh my gosh, now I'm not happy, and I need to know what you're going to do about it. Oh, can I go by and fix the problem? No, the restoration people are there. Okay, well, after they leave, okay, I'll let you know when they're finished. Okay, now I'm here. It's now 13 days after that, and I've decided I'm not going to let you in. Tell me what she did wrong. If this is a service that she provided, which you completely put your stamp of approval on by paying the money, and then you complain a month later, which she says is against her policy, but she's like, I want her happy, so I'll go back. And then you don't let her go back, and then you come to court and you sue for the entire amount back? No. In any cleaning job, there's always more that can be done. But as far as I'm concerned, if it was good enough for you after inspection to give her a tip, it's good enough for me. Verdict in this case for the defendant on the claim.
So the plaintiff loses her lawsuit to get all of the money she paid to have her house clean, her mother's house clean, the $1,500. She does not get a penny back. Ms. Cottle, let me ask you first. You're the plaintiff here. You don't get $1,500 back. What are you thinking right now? What's your reaction to the judge's verdict?
Well, obviously, I'm not happy about it. She advertised herself as a professional cleaning company. I don't think that she did a professional job, and that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it.
Yes, you are. But don't you think it's a little unfair to ask for all your money back after they spent 3 days there cleaning?
You didn't see all the evidence.
Doesn't matter. They spent 3 days there, and you approved it and tipped them.
And there were circumstances in my life going on at that time that made it so I just.
Okay, Ms. Albright, let me ask you. The plaintiff said she got bed bugs by going into her mother's house. You cleaned there for 3 days. Did you guys get any bed bugs?
No, and I thank goodness because we were not suitable for that, and it would have been a bigger case if I brought that to my home with my kids.
Yeah, no kidding. And obviously, nicotine is really tough to clean. Anybody, who's smoking right now should take that to heart,
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much. That'll wrap it up for this. Everybody should quit smoking anyway, right? Right, Harvey?
Doug, this is an important case. If you rent an apartment or if you're a landlord, you need to inspect everything very carefully before you leave. You need to see what's in front of you. If you don't, and then you sue because you didn't see it, you're probably going to lose.
How involved were you in your kids' schooling? Were you ever a room mother? Did you go on field trips?
Oh, okay. There are things I'd like to confess to and things I would not like to confess to. So, because the term helicopter mom does dive into my head. I was very involved, and I had the ability to do so because once I left the bench in Miami and took this job. We were taping at the time. We would tape 2 days out of the week, so I had the rest of the time. And
I got to be a room mother.
I was a room mother twice, not once. Right? Yeah. So I used to participate in a lot of stuff. I went on every trip. If I didn't go, you went.
We split some field trips, right? I mean, I think I did St. Augustine and you did Washington once or something, and then I did it another. No,
yeah, I took the good ones.
Williamsburg.
I took the good ones. I took Williamsburg.
No, I did Williamsburg.
We both did different kids.
Different kids.
But my parents didn't look at anything I did.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. This was not their job.
There was no proofreading.
Their attitude was sink or swim. We didn't exactly do that. Our generation didn't do that.
No, my parents really weren't doing that kind of stuff for me either. But it's funny, it's kind of a blessing and a curse to have a job that's 2,000 miles away from your home, because on the one hand, you did have those opportunities that a lot of other working moms maybe can't do, or working parents can't do, to get in and be a room mother and spend that much time. But on the other hand, you missed some things.
I missed some stuff that
you
broke
missed
my
stuff
heart.
that you were 2,000 miles away, and you couldn't be there for this recital, this concert, this play, and I went and I tried to video.
You tried to video, but that was back when we were using video cameras, and you weren't
half the time
that
I'd have my thumb over the lens or something.
Yes. Or you're watching the kid, and the camera's facing the baseboard, and you're like, oh darn, again,